Radio.
And good afternoon, everybody. This is indeed the Michael K. Show. We thank you for joining us on this Wednesday, November 5th, 2025. Me and you for two. Those are the rules of engagement each and every Monday through Friday, 1 to 3, the fastest 2 hours in sports talk radio. Thank you for being part of it. Now, yesterday, it was mostly about the Jets. It was happening fast and furious while we were on the air. Sauce Gardner before we came on the air, and then Quinnen Williams while we were on the air. And I think that the general perception is that these are deals that the Jets had to make. They got good return for good players. But now the entire onus shifts to the people that are in charge. Are they, in fact, good enough to make these selections? Are they savvy enough to make these selections? Do you trust them to make these selections? The fact that these deals were allowed to be made tells you that Woody Johnson is still all in with the firm of Mougey and Glenn. Otherwise, why let them make the picks? So you've got all these picks over the next 2 years. You know, there were some people that were out there that were talking about, well, you know, in all likelihood, they're going to get rid of Aaron Glenn after this 1 year. I thought that was highly unlikely. I mean, they invested a lot of money in bringing his people aboard, bringing him aboard, giving him a 5-year contract. And I think that the past does predict the future. And if it doesn't predict it, it certainly impacts it. And I think that we're seeing that with the Giants. The reason that Brian Daboll has gotten 4 years is because the previous 3 coaches before him got 2 or fewer years. So John Mara and the Tisch family didn't want to look foolish by banging another coach so quickly. That's why they gave this coach more time. Now, the fact that Woody has completely mishandled all the coaches before this, that Adam Gase debacle because Peyton Manning called him up, and then you hire Aaron Glenn, and you get rid of Robert Saleh in the 5th game of last year after 5 games when they were 2-3. And you put in a coach that wasn't ready to coach. So the team essentially, for the final 12 games of the season, didn't have a head coach. They were not being coached. They just weren't. So you got rid of a guy who was we know at least a good defensive mind. See what he's doing back in San Francisco right now with an injury-ravaged defense. Injury-ravaged. But you got rid of him. So Woody's not going to get rid of a coach quickly again because he doesn't want to get criticized again. So the firm of Mougey and Glenn are going to make these picks. And I'd like to know, anyone within the sound of my voice, if you feel ultra confident that these guys are competent enough to make this pick. And before you say, oh, you're being negative. No, I'm not. If you don't learn from history, you're doomed to repeat it. This is a team, a front office team, that decided that Justin Fields was the quarterback moving forward. Now, they didn't go in for a long-term deal, but they gave him 2 years, $30 million guaranteed. That's not just a flyer. They felt good about this guy. They felt that this guy had talent and that they were going to get something out of him that the Bears and the Steelers could not. And he's been an absolute bust. Other than his last game, which he would not have played if Tyrod Taylor was in fact healthy and his knee wasn't bad, other than his last game and maybe a little bit of that first one against the Steelers, what has he shown other than a reluctance to throw the ball downfield? All they want to do is run the ball anyway, and he is not the quarterback of the future. So they've garnered all these draft picks, and now these are the guys who decided we'd rather have Justin Fields than Aaron Rodgers. These are the guys. Of all the quarterbacks that were out there, they could have made deals for, whatever the case may be. They said Justin Fields is the guy we want to move forward with. He's been an absolute bust. So much of a bust that coming off his good performance before the bye, they still haven't named him as the starting quarterback. Maybe they've told him. I'm sure he's going to start against Cleveland. I'm certain of it. There's no other way that you can go. So that even calls into more question, which is another story for another show, about the games that Aaron Glenn plays with the media. I just don't understand it. It makes no sense to me. So you are entrusting these two men to dictate the future of the Jets. And if they don't get it right, then 15 is going to turn to 20 years without making a playoff appearance. Then you're going to have to get a new administration in and a new coach as well. So were these deals good deals yesterday? Yeah, because the Jets aren't going anywhere. They're 1-7. Now, also, Darren Mougey continues in a long line of executives, managers, coaches who will pee on your head and tell you it's raining. Because, we're still trying to win. Really? You just traded your top cornerback, one of your top defenders, and you're still trying to win this year. You're not. Now, I think the team, when they go out on the field, guys try to win. So you could play the semantics game with me. The guys on the field have to put something on film for their future employment. But when you tell me we're still trying to win, you're lying. You're lying. You're putting lipstick on a pig. But I can't argue with the deals. I don't think the Jets are going to be good in a long time. And then Sauce Gardner's value is going to be gone. And Quinnen Williams is going to want a contract update because his contract, he's probably outplayed that. And he's 29 years old. So you get rid of him and you get a pretty good return from the Cowboys. My only question is, do you trust this group to make those picks? To make that evaluation? To make the evaluation on whether Mendoza from Indiana is your quarterback moving forward? And even if it's not going to be this year, because everybody's saying that the 2027 NFL draft is going to be one of the strongest in recent memory with who's coming out. So that means you're going to have another losing season next year if you don't take a quarterback. And we talked to Paul Feinbaum yesterday, and if you didn't hear that interview, you should listen to the podcast, because he essentially said this is not a needle-moving draft when it comes to quarterbacks. It's just not. Now, he likes Fernando Mendoza, but he said that Mendoza has not played against any great defense. He likes Mateer from Oklahoma, but not, doesn't give off franchise vibes. Likes Simpson from Alabama, but again, doesn't give off franchise quarterback vibes. And Mateer and Simpson, they might not even come out. They don't have to come out. I was listening to Barton Carlin. I was getting ready for the show. Guy called in and said, maybe they should tank for Arch Manning. Arch Manning? Arch Manning hasn't shown that he can play at Texas. You're going to tank for a guy that hasn't shown that he could play at a high level in the college game with an offensive, really smart offensive mind in Sarkisian? I don't know. You don't tank for him. Anyway, long story short, the right move. I get it. Jets aren't going anywhere this year. They're probably not going anywhere next year. But my big trepidation is the guys making the pick. So for you Jet fans that romanticized and dreamed that, hey, you know what? Maybe Glenn's going to be one and done. He's not going to be one and done. He's not. You're almost assured of him being at least here 3 years. And if they wait to pick the franchise quarterback with the talent-rich draft in 2027, then he's definitely going to be here 4 years. So some way, somehow, Aaron Glenn has the heart and the soul of Woody Johnson. Because Woody Johnson, if he was thinking about getting rid of Aaron Glenn, would not have okayed these deals. Just wouldn't. Now, that leads me into my other point. While the Jets were shaking and baking, as Walt Frazier would say, the Giants were sitting on their hands. And I'm going to tell you why they were. And I've been saying that this is going to be a problem ever since they decided to keep Joe Shane and Brian Dable. You have a lame duck football operations. How could John Mara and the Tisch family have signed off on these guys trading, let's say, draft capital to bring in a wide receiver to make things easier for the young quarterback? How could they have signed off on them trading Thibodeau when they might not be here? The fact that you brought these guys back with the marching orders of it has to get done and we have to be competitive in December. You're not even competitive in November. You're not playing important games in November. So by bringing these two guys back without giving them an extension, because you know the rules with me. One bite, everybody knows the rules. I don't ask for people to be fired, but I ask for clarity and intelligent decisions by an ownership. If you're going to bring these guys back, you have to give them an extension. Say, you know what? We believe in them. They're going to be here for at least another 3 years. But you're half pregnant with what you did. Well, you got to prove to me you got to play important games in December now. Nah, really? So now they're lame ducks. So they can't do anything about the future of the team moving forward. And for these guys thinking, oh, you know what? Here's the deal. Our whole future is going to be tied to Jackson Dart. No, it's not. No, it's not. That's not the way it worked with the Chargers. Harbaugh's not the guy who selected Justin Herbert, but he's the guy who's getting the most out of him. You bring in another coach that'll get the most out of Jackson Dart. Jackson Dart doesn't like a project where you're going to have to sit back and say, yeah, only Dable can work with him. No. They'll bring in somebody that could work with him. So what you've done is the moves that you might have made, right? The moves that you might have made, you probably weren't allowed to make, because why would you be allowed to dictate the future if you're not part of it? That's what it comes down to. Why would you be allowed to dictate the future if you're not certainly part of it? And this is on Mara for allowing this lame duck situation to go on. It's ridiculous. You bring back two guys. All right, you got to win this year with a rookie quarterback and an aging quarterback that you started with. And then we'll decide whether or not we bring you back. And now at the end of this year, you're going to have to play the game. Okay, can we get rid of one without getting rid of both? Do we get rid of both? And then do we bring in a GM who might not like the quarter? I mean, you put this on yourself by making a half-pregnant move. That's exactly what it is. It's a half-pregnant move. Either you're pregnant or you're not. We don't know what the Giants are. At this point, it looks like they've got the quarterback of the future. What else do they have? And, you know, one of the important picks that Shane made, Evan Neal, can't even play. He's healthy, and he can't even play on a team that obviously can need some offensive line help. Can't even play. And then they couldn't even move him yesterday. So that's the difference between the two New York franchises. It seems like Glenn and Mougey, they're allowed to do what they want because they're going to be here a long time. Shane and Dable, looks like their hands were tied. You can't say, well, they're happy with the way things are going, so they're just going to let it ride. Why would you let something like this ride? They're 2-7 for the third straight year under this administration. What a mess. What an absolute mess. Hey, YouTube TV customers, get the sports you love on ESPN back, including college football, college game day, Monday Night Football, NBA, college basketball, and more. Act now. Go to keepmynetworks.com to get ESPN back. Let's go back to the phone calls, or go to the phone calls as we bring in the co-host, 1-800-919-3776. And let's start with Tom in Brooklyn. Tom, why don't you begin?
Hey, Mike, how you doing?
Good. How you doing?
So, I'm doing all right. I'm pretty happy with, the trade situation, but I'm just exhausted as a Jets fan because we've been in this situation before. We've had the draft picks, and, we've hit on them. Sauce, Garrett, Brees, Jermaine Johnson. But if you do not get the quarterback right, it doesn't matter. We've always had the great defensive teams, right? Even back with the Mark Sanchez era, with the Revis. We had a top 5 defense, and we never could win because we never got the quarterback right. So I don't know how – I want to be positive. The only thing I like is in 2027 we have 3 first-round picks. So at that point, you could go and get the top quarterback if you really, really wanted to, if there's not one coming out in 2026. But do I trust them? Absolutely not. And why should I? And not only that, you're going to raise the ticket prices after just getting rid of everybody? They treat us fans like we're idiots. Yep. And like garbage. And that's what annoys me about everything. Because we put in the time. We show up. We're J-U-T-S-S, Jets, all the time. What do you do for us? You just show that you're incompetent. And I'm just over it.
I don't blame you, Tom. I hear the angst in your voice, and I essentially agree with everything that you're saying. And I said this yesterday. It wasn't a big part of the show because we were trying to dissect the trades. But you're giving up on the 2025. I don't care what Mougey says. Mougey, again, he's peeing on your head and telling you it's raining. But the bottom line is this. They're not going to win this year. Will they go 3-14? Yeah, there's a chance. They could beat Cleveland this weekend. And they're going to raise ticket prices. They've given up on the season, and next year is not going to be great, and they're going to raise ticket prices. Now, the one thing that I would want to pump the brakes on just a little bit, when you have draft capital, like the 3 draft picks in 2027, and let's say the Jets do improve next year and they win 5 games, so they finish with the 6th pick. Well, you know what happens? It happens what the Giants happened. You could have as many draft picks as you want. If the teams that are in front of you want to pick the quarterbacks, they're not trading. Washington wasn't trading. New England would not trade with the Giants so the Giants could take Drake May. They couldn't do it. No matter how much they threw at New England, they would not trade that pick. So just because you have the draft collateral doesn't mean you could move up into the first spot. Because if the first team is convinced that that quarterback is the one that they want, then they're going to take him. You could offer them 5 first-round draft picks. They're not going to trade it. That's how valuable quarterbacks are. But again, the big question for me, you have a lot of faith in Glenn and Mougey to pick the quarterback when the quarterback they picked this year has not been good at all? At all. Let's go to Bill in New Jersey. Bill.
Michael, how are you, sir?
I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm very good, thank you. As far as the Jets go, a couple things. First of all, I still want Mougey. He hasn't really. I mean, he had Taylor, the tight end. He got the offensive lineman. I think he got Cisco in the 3rd round. He didn't have a bad draft.
Mm-hmm.
I still want to. I think it's still out for him. You know, I just think we don't know. You know, but I do know one thing. We have a good offensive line. All right, a couple of pieces maybe here and there. I'm glad they didn't get rid of Brees, because if we do get a quarterback next year, we're going to need him, you know, to help the, kind of like Saquon did with Danny Dimes, you know.
See,
not
but
that he was that good anyway, but you know what I mean?
would tend on that one, Bill, to respectfully disagree with you. I know that the best offer reportedly that the Jets have for Brees Hall is a 4th rounder from Kansas City. And the Jets were holding out for a 3rd rounder. And Kansas City's 4th rounder is closer to the 5th round because Kansas City's going to be good. But are you really re-signing Brees Hall? And are you putting a franchise tag on him? Are you paying Brees Hall $12 million to stay as a running back? Because it makes no sense whatsoever not to get anything for him if you're not bringing him back. Just doesn't make any sense at all. And it seemed like there was a price on everybody but Garrett Wilson. Okay, I agree with that. And you're saying that Mougey made some okay picks in his first draft. I'll give you that too. Nothing matters unless the quarterback is done right. And the first kick they have at the quarterback can is Justin Fields. That does not bode well for them. They saw something in Justin Fields that obviously wasn't true. I mean, Aaron Glenn said over and over, well, you know what? Yeah, he was one of the toughest quarterbacks I ever had a game plan for when I was in Detroit and he was in Chicago. Really? Wow. Game plan for him. 8 guys in the box. Stop the run. There's a game plan. And I'm no football savant. I don't think it should be that tough. He doesn't throw the ball. But that's the guy you invested $30 million in. That guy. Now, again, it's not heavy lifting. You haven't buried yourself. There's not going to be a lot of dead cap money. But you did make that choice. You wanted this guy. And a year ago, 13 months ago, actually, Woody Johnson, when he fired Robert Saleh, said, this is the most talented Jet team we've ever put together. So we go from that to this. So somebody somewhere doesn't know what the heck they're talking about. Doesn't know what the heck they're talking about. Let's go to Vinny in Staten Island. Vinny.
What's up, Michael?
Hey, Vin.
Michael, the problem is everybody keeps saying they haven't found the quarterback. They haven't found the coach. That's the problem with the Jets. They haven't found the coach. They had the quarterback, Sam Darnold. They had nobody to work with him. Hey, they had nobody to work with him. They found the quarterback. The problem is they got to get a coaching staff here. They got to go. They had a chance for Sean Payton 3-4 years ago, and they passed on it. Aaron Glenn is going to be the next Gerard Mayo. They win 1 or 2 games, Woody's going to get rid of him like that.
I don't think you're right. Vinny, I don't think you're right. Then why would they allow him make these trades?
Coach, because he's terrible. They know he's terrible. If he keeps making these bumbling mistakes he does every week, week in and week out, be like he is with the media, he's gone. Another thing is, a plan is, listen, give Justin Fields a chance, see what he can do. He played 3 good games this year. If not, you go out, you get a guy like Jacoby Brissett for nothing. The guy's playing his butt off in Arizona. He's throwing throwing up some good numbers. He's playing really good. He's 31 years old. You could get him for cheap. The Jets are going to have a very good offense next year. They gave away nothing on offense. They gave away pieces on defense that have been there for years and have been so overrated. Sauce and Quinnen are overrated players. They always won. The whole defense was overrated. So I expect them to get rid of Aaron Glenn. I really do. Thank you, Michael, for the call. I'll talk to you soon.
Well, thanks for making it, and just the overall premise of your call, I think, is wrong. Because by allowing this front office to do what it did yesterday, you're locked into Glenn for 3 or 4 years. Because remember, you're saying Mougey and Glenn, they're tied together. They're one and the same. Mougey works for Glenn. Glenn got the job first. Glenn signed off on Mougey. It's not usually the way it's done. So Glenn has, I think, more power than Mougey. Glenn's not going anywhere. If they don't win another game the rest of the year and he's 1-16, I don't think he's going anywhere. So your premise is all they need is a coach. Well, you know what? The coach you have is the coach that you're going to have for the next 3 or 4 years. That's just the way it is. I don't see it unraveling any other way. Brian in Rockville Center. Brian.
Good afternoon, Mike. I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm just playing devil's advocate here. Could this have been a fire sale because they're going to start over with a new quarterback and a new system this year? Because the media and everyone else is going to be, and all the fans are going to be calling for quarterback this year. Right. I think it's going to be a huge mistake. I don't see anything out of these guys, the guy Mendoza and the guy from Oregon. I don't see anything of them being a franchise quarterback. So I know a lot of people might disagree with me. I said the same thing this morning with Dave and Rick. I don't think they set up this year's draft for next year's draft with a quarterback. They've already done it with the 2 offensive tackles. They need to go out and get receiver help. I just don't know if this year, I think it would be a huge mistake, because if we take a quarterback this year and he doesn't work out, we just lost that third out of the 3 draft picks. We just lost one because we're going to be using it on another quarterback, and it's going to be a waste. So I don't know what the right thing to do is. I'm just wondering if Aaron Glenn they did a fire sale to get rid of him and start from scratch.
You mean get rid of Aaron Glenn?
Yes.
No, but Aaron Glenn is Darren Mougey. I don't think they're separated, Brian. I essentially agree with you. I don't think there's any guarantee that they're going to take a quarterback in this draft. Again, Paul Feinbaum, who knows college football as well as anybody, there is no franchise quarterback. Everybody keeps talking about Mendoza because Indiana has had an unbelievable season, but they have not played a great team with a great defense. I think the toughest test he's going to have is against Penn State with an interim coach, and that's coming up this Saturday. So we don't really know what Mendoza is. There's not a franchise guy out there. There's not a Joe Burrow. There's not a Peyton Manning. There's not an Andrew Luck. There's not. Now, could there be a jewel buried in dirt out there? Maybe. Remember, 24 teams passed over Jackson Dart. Now, I'm not saying that he's the be-all, end-all, but he looks like he's better than a 25th pick in the first round. So a lot of NFL teams get it wrong when it comes to quarterbacking. But right now, in the mid-stages of the college football season, there's no quarterback that jumps off the page at you. You go, yeah, we're going to tank for him. So I agree with you on that. I agree with you that they will, in fact, or they could, in fact, pass over quarterback this year, get another veteran guy, and then select somebody in 2027 when you have the 3 first-round draft picks. Yeah, I could see that happening. But in terms of this, 3-dimensional chess thing that you have going on, that, they're going to tank so Aaron Glenn's going to be out, they didn't have to tank. He's 1-7 without tanking. Even with those 2 players, he's 1-7. I think Mougey and Glenn, they are one ticket. They are together. I think everything runs through Glenn, and Mougey is the one who works the phone and gets it done. Hey, maybe I'm wrong, but that's just the feel I get. When you hire the coach first and then the GM second, that means to me the coach has more power. We'll get some more clarity from this or about this from Rich Cimini, covers the Jets for us. He'll join us in just a moment. Remember, it's a Wednesday, so 2 o'clock, in the 2 o'clock hour at 2:30, we'll talk to Mike Lupica, get his take on what's going on as well. It's the K-Show. We're rolling until 3 right here on ESPN New York.
When Wednesday with Don, Hahn, and Rosenberg. Can the Knicks make it 3 in a row?
Throw it down with the right hand. Karl Anthony Towns has been dominant tonight.
Has Karl Anthony Towns gotten comfortable in Mike Brown's system?
Cat was a monster. He was a monster on the glass. He was really good defensively. He was a monster inside, outside. He's starting to find his rhythm in what we're trying to do.
Don, Hahn, and Rosenberg today at 3 on ESPN New York and streaming live on YouTube.
There he goes to the 20, 10, 5. That's a Jet touchdown. That's a Jet touchdown.
Jets fans, be there at MetLife Stadium to see the New York Jets take on the Cleveland Browns on Sunday, November 9th at 1 p.m., presented by Verizon. Don't miss your chance to experience the excitement of game day at MetLife Stadium and cheer on your Jets. Lock in your seats at nyjets.com/tickets and get ready to clear the runway.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my site softer?
Can I make my site firmer?
Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. Your Sleep Number setting. Enjoy personalized comfort for better sleep night after night. It's our Black Friday sale. Recharge this season with a bundle of cozy, soothing comfort. Now only $17.99 for our C2 mattress and base, plus free premium delivery. Prices higher in Alaska and Hawaii. Check it out at a Sleep Number store or sleepnumber.com today.
Quiet down. Here she comes. Shh. Surprise! Your accountant just emailed to say your quarterly taxes are way higher than you were expecting.
At Progressive, we know small business owners don't usually like surprises because they cost you money. But a good surprise that could save you money? Getting discounts with a commercial auto quote from Progressive.
Also, your favorite employee is leaving. They're going to pursue their dream of being a veterinarian.
Surprise yourself. See if you can save in as little as 8 minutes at ProgressiveCommercial.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Discounts not available in all states or situations.
Listen up, New York. It's football season, and you should be out there enjoying every play, every tailgate, every moment. But if you're dealing with neck pain, back pain, joint pain, or sciatica, even getting off the couch can feel like a challenge. That's where Dr. Jay Shaw at Sandwell Pain comes in. He's one of New Jersey's top pain specialists, Ivy League trained, double board certified, and dedicated to getting you back in the game. Here's the difference. No surgery, no scars, no long recovery, no pain medication. Just precise, non-surgical, image-guided procedures that get real results. Dr. Shaw treats everything from neck pain, back pain, migraines, nerve pain, and chronic joint pain. And he builds a custom game plan that's right for you. Same day or next day appointments are available with offices in Woodbridge, Livingston, and Inglewood. And yes, most major insurances are accepted. So don't let pain keep you on the sidelines this season. Go to SandwellPain.com to call, text, or book online. Relief is closer than you think, and it starts today.
Is college even worth it these days? At Empire State University, it actually is. They are SUNY's leading online university. Flexible, affordable, and built for real life. With more than 120 degree programs, you can study what matters most to you. And students agree, they're ranked #1 in student satisfaction among SUNY schools. Whether you are finishing what you started or starting fresh, your goals are within reach. See for yourself. Visit SUNYEmpire.edu before the next term begins.
Looking for the best internet deal? It's just a fast phone call away. Only Optimum Fiber Internet delivers the fastest and most reliable fiber internet starting at just $25 a month. That's right, lightning fast fiber internet at a price that won't slow you down. Call 888-4OPTIMUM today to lock in your offer in just a few minutes and see how you can also get the Disney Plus Hulu bundle and an unlimited mobile line on us. Don't take slow for an answer. Call 888-4OPTIMUM or visit Optimum.com today. Terms apply.
At City Harvest, we believe no New Yorker has to go hungry. With your help, we're on the road 365 days a year, rescuing over 77 million pounds of nutritious food and delivering it free to millions of New Yorkers, transforming surplus food into sustenance, sustainability, and smiles, rallying thousands of New Yorkers to power a network of nourishment across our city. One day, one meal, and one New Yorker at a time. That's how we feed good. Donate at cityharvest.org.
Rich Eisen here for Sonos, the speakers that bring every game to life in my own house. With studio quality sound, Sonos makes you feel like you're right there in the stadium. Whether you're cheering on your team, binging your favorite show, or listening to the hottest songs, Sonos fills every room with incredible sound. Setup is easy. Just plug in, open the Sonos app, and you're ready to go. Want stadium quality sound at home just like me? Because I love Sonos. You will too. Explore soundbars, speakers, and more at Sonos.com. Sonos. They look as good as they sound.
From kickoff to cash out, ESPN Bet has all the tools you need to score more on game days. Bet smarter with stats right at your fingertips. Get personalized parlays built just for you. And with your fantasy teams synced right in the app, you can back your squad. Right now, new customers get $100 in bonus bets when you bet $10. Sign up with promo code USL to get started. Must be 21 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details. Offer not available in New York.
Well, game time brought to you by Tullamore Dew Irish Whiskey, because when it's game time, it's Tully time. It's 7 p.m. The Nets are in Indiana to play the Pacers. Pacers have just one win. The Nets are the last NBA team without a victory. This might be their last chance to get a win for a while. So we'll see how they do against an injury-ravaged Pacers team. That game will be on, 7:30. The Knicks host the Timberwolves at Madison Square Garden. Anthony Edwards supposed to come back from the hamstring injury. Coverage begins at 7 p.m. right here on 880 ESPN, also on the MSG Network. Tullamore Dew, the original triple distilled, triple blended, triple cask matured Irish whiskey. Be sure to grab a Tullamore Dew. Try the new Tullamore Dew Honey during today's action. Glass up to enjoying Tullamore Dew responsibly. Now, Major League Baseball just announced that Game 7 drew an average of 51 million viewers for the final game of the World Series, with combined numbers in the United States, Canada, and Japan. 51 million people watched that game at some point, and that's the highest average for a Major League game since, they say 34 years ago. 34 years, 51 million. Good for Major League Baseball, and we'll see if they can keep that momentum going. Rich Cimini has covered the Jets forever. We've told you that. He does it for us here at ESPN. I want to get his take on what happened yesterday and the fallout from that. And Rich joins us now. Rich, how you doing?
Oh, good afternoon, Michael. Good to be with you. I'm sitting right out here at Jets practice, watching what's left of the Jets team.
Did you agree with the moves because they're so bad this year and they weren't going anywhere with these players?
I like the concept of what they did, Michael. I mean, these are, they got tremendous value on these picks. I checked around with people around the league that I trust. They all said the Jets got great value in the compensation. Now they have 5 number 1 picks over the next 2 years. So clearly building for the future. This season we know is over. It's not about the present anymore. It's about the future. Me being a cynical New Yorker and having covered the Jets for 37 years, there's a skepticism here. We've seen this so many times. Every regime comes in and they do this. They trade away homegrown star players for future assets. They sell the future of a brighter tomorrow, and it never happens. So I've seen this thing before. I hope for the sake of the fan base, which has suffered enough, that it actually works this time. It seems like a good plan, but now they have to go execute it.
See, my trepidation with the plan, and I've been saying this, since the news broke yesterday, this is a front office and a coach that said, okay, Justin Fields is the quarterback. They were wrong, a big swing and a miss. They decided they wanted him rather than Aaron Rodgers, another swing and a miss, although I understood that premise. Do we trust these guys to be the guys that select the next quarterback?
Well, that's a great question. I mean, you have a defensive-minded coach, you have a very inexperienced offensive coordinator, and a staff really that has not done well with Justin Fields this year. So yes, there's real concern about being able to build an infrastructure to develop a quarterback. And I was texting with someone, a coach in the league yesterday, and I said, now the Jets just have to pick the right quarterback. And the guy texted me back. He goes, no, now they have to develop the quarterback they pick. That is a huge, huge issue for this team. They've picked the right guy in the past. I mean, look at Sam Darnold. He was the right guy. He's got talent. He's thriving now. They just didn't develop him. So it's a draft and develop process that the Jets are going to have to go through probably this spring and perhaps even in 2027.
There's some thought. We had Paul Feinbaum on yesterday, Rich, and he said there's really not a franchise quarterback in the upcoming draft. look at Mendoza, really hasn't been tested by a great defense. Defense in the Big Ten isn't all that stout, so we'll see what he does against really good defenses as that happens later on in the season. Rich, would they wait until 2027, where it's supposed to be a talent-rich draft, to take those picks or to make that quarterback selection?
Yeah, they could. They certainly could. They're going to need a rich quarterback for next year. I'm not sure it'll be Justin Fields, although he is under contract. We'll see how he goes for the last 8 or 9 games. They're still not naming him the starter, so take that for what it's worth. And you're right. I mean, they're going to have to. But also with the draft capital, I mean, if for some reason a good veteran becomes available in the offseason, like a Jared Goff type of situation, which Eric Glenn obviously is very familiar with, having come from Detroit, if a player like that becomes available, and let's face it, good quarterbacks usually don't, but if it did, the Jets would have the means to go out and make that trade. So I find it hard to believe that they'd wait all the way to 2027. I mean, if they start 0-7 next year, like they did this year, who knows if those guys even be around, in 2027. So I think they'll probably address it this coming spring.
Well, the Jared Goff deal, though, Rich, that's an outlier. They gave up a Hall of Fame quarterback to get Jared Goff. I'm not sure that the Rams would have traded a Jared Goff for a draft pick because they wanted to continue to play well. So I don't know if that kind of trade presents itself. And I don't know if the Jets have what it takes to make that trade.
Yeah, it is an outlier. I mean, they traded – well, they do have some tradable assets. I mean, they still have Garrett Wilson on the roster. They still have Jermaine Johnson. Breece Hall is going to be a free agent. So they do have some tradable assets. We know they're not opposed to trading anyone based on what we saw yesterday. I mean, they signed Sauce Gardner 4 months ago to what we thought was going to be one of those lifetime contracts. But as we learned very quickly in the NFL, there's no such thing as lifetime contracts.
Now, let's talk about Breece Hall. It's being reported by several outlets that the best offer the Jets had was from Kansas City, 4th rounder, and they were standing firm with the 3rd rounder. Now, I guess I could understand if you value him as a 3rd rounder, but I don't understand if you don't plan to keep him. You might as well get something for him. So do they plan to keep him? Would they franchise the guy at that kind of number?
I think it would be $14 million if they franchised him. To me, that would be a waste. If you're going to pay $14 million guaranteed, you might as well just sign him to like a 3-year deal for $36 million or something like that. We asked Aaron Glenn about that today. He really likes Breece Hall. He goes, I've said it a million times, I really like this player. So I do think there is a chance they could re-sign him in the offseason. I don't think that ship has sailed yet. It depends how things go. I mean, he obviously is a very talented player. He's a 3-down running back. He's only going to be 25 years old. And those are the kind of players you want to keep. And they don't have Braylon Allen's coming off knee surgery, so who knows what he'll be next year. So I do think it is a possibility that he could stay, Breece Hall.
Did it surprise you, Rich, that the one guy that seemed untouchable was Garrett Wilson? Nobody else. It was like, let's make an offer. They would not even listen to anything for Garrett Wilson. Why him? Why not Sauce? Why not Quinnen Williams? Why weren't those guys untouchable?
Well, I think with Sauce Gardner, obviously 4 months ago they made that commitment. The one thing I give the Jets credit for, they structured those 2 contracts in a way where they could get out pretty quickly, as they just demonstrated. Not a lot of upfront money, a lot of rolling guarantees, very cleverly done by Nick Sabella, their cap guy. So Garrett Wilson's contract is basically the same structure, so they could have traded him. But I think they hold him in a higher regard. They realize his importance to the ability to evaluate their quarterback this year. They want to get a really good evaluation on Justin Fields before this season's over. That would have been extremely difficult to do without Garrett Wilson. So although in Cincinnati, of course, Wilson wasn't there, and Fields had one of his best games, but I think that was kind of an outlier because Cincinnati's defense is so bad. But so Wilson, they hold in high regard. Sauce, for some reason, I think his inability to take the ball away, few interceptions, a higher penalty rate. I think maybe if they got to know him for the last few months, this new regime, they said, he's a really good player, but we're not sure he's a generational type guy who deserves, $30 million a year that we paid him. And when the Colts came along and they kept sweetening their offer over the last few days, the Jets finally got to a point where they said, let's do this trade.
See, that's what I figured too, Rich, and that's what makes me nervous about this administration moving forward. So this was a foundational piece, $30 million a year, and then 8 games in, they go, maybe not. Justin Fields. He's the guy. They didn't coach him well in Pittsburgh and Chicago. We'll get the most out of him. Now they won't even name him the starter for this Sunday, although it's obvious he's going to be the starter. Do they know what they're doing, Rich?
Yeah, those are definitely red flags. In fact, as recently as 2 weeks ago, when we got the famous Woody Johnson quote about Justin Fields, one of the things he said in that interview in Manhattan at the owners' meetings was he was so happy that they locked up Wilson and Gardner. He was crowing about those extensions. And so, yeah, I think it raises questions. I think they overrated the talent coming into this season. I don't think they had any inkling that the season was going to go like this. So they overrated the talent on the roster, and they miscalculated with Sauce Gardner. You could say, well, they can get out of it easily, and they did with minimal amount of salary cap. I think they paid him $15 million this year. But yet, that's $15 million that could have gone to something else, Right. So yeah, they did miscalculate on that. And the Justin Fields thing has been basically a disaster. He has not played well for the most part. So, yeah, I mean, those are all legitimate questions about this regime that's come in, and they've made some big decisions that haven't worked out yet.
Rich Cimini is our guest, covers the Jets for us here at ESPN. Rich, a lot of people are calling in yesterday and today, and they go, well, I like this, but, obviously they're going to change the coach if they continue to lose. I might be wrong, just the way I'm reading the tea leaves. I think the coach and the GM, they are tied together, and I think the coach might even have more power than the GM because he was hired first. I don't think that Glenn's going anywhere. Even if they go 1-16, I don't think he's going anywhere. Am I wrong?
No, you're not wrong. Everything you said is right. I mean, he carries the juice in the organization. Mougey's the guy on the phone talking to the other teams, executing the trades, but Aaron Glenn essentially is calling the shots. And I agree with you. They're not going anywhere. You don't make a trade like this. Obviously, Woody Johnson has to sign off on a trade like this of this magnitude. And he doesn't do that if he's planning on changing regimes in the offseason. So, if anything, this just solidifies more the Glenn Mougey tandem. This is them laying their foundation for the future. This was their stamping of the franchise with this move. And I guess you could say in February he did it to a certain degree by getting rid of Aaron Rodgers and bringing in Fields. But this was the real stamp. This is like, I'm in charge now, and I'm going to do it my way. And if we have to sacrifice a couple of popular players, so be it. So I think the Glenn Mougey hold on their positions is even stronger now after these trades.
All right, in finishing up, I just want to get a read on this because you've seen, unfortunately for you and Jet fans, so many coaches over the years that you've covered this team. This guy seems so combative, so truculent. He wants to fight with everybody. He doesn't give you a straight answer. He's trying to be Bill Parcells without the 2 Super Bowls. He's trying to be Bill Belichick without the 6 Super Bowls. Why is he acting like this?
I think it's just his personality, Michael. I remember him as a player, and he kind of had the same personality. He was an intense, passionate, competitive guy that had an edge to him. And I told everyone when they hired him, people asked me, how's Aaron Glenn going to be? I'm like, well, he's going to have an edge to him, and he's going to be a little rough around the edges at times, and he certainly has been that, probably more than I expected. I didn't expect it to be this combative. People ask why we keep asking quarterback questions. It's because he doesn't give answers. He just doesn't, even if he doesn't want to announce his quarterback, he doesn't really give an explanation on why he doesn't want to. And so that's why he constantly gets these questions. Now, today there were no quarterback questions because basically everything was about the 2 trades, of course. So, he's combative. When they win, hey, the fans love it. When then he's like coach with swagger and arrogance, right, and the fans love it. But when they lose, it's like it's a bad look. So you think maybe with some experience, he'd get fix some of those issues with the media.
It's funny too, Rich, because the fans are always going to support the coach. Oh, he doesn't have to tell you anything, whatever the case may be, and we see that in politics too. But if you don't answer the media, you're not answering the fans. You're not telling the fans about their team. I mean, people lose sight of that the media is a conduit to tell your fans what's going on. So essentially, he's kind of flipping off the fans. I'll make the quarterback a decision when I want, and I'm not going to tell you why I'm making the decision. I just don't think it's a good look for him.
Well, he had a very interesting, speaking of the fans, he had a very interesting quote today. I asked him this question. Actually, let me preface it by saying, right before the season started, before the Pittsburgh game, I asked him, how would you define a successful season? He goes, I would define a successful season one that makes the fans proud. So I asked him today, what would you say to the fans after these two trades and their team is at 1-7? He goes, I know what I said in the past. He goes, I didn't say they'd be proud right now. So he added that little amendment to his previous quote, essentially saying, well, it might take a year or 2 or 3 before they're actually proud of this team. But so I thought that other reporters in the room, I know their eyes, everybody perked up when they heard that. It's like, did he say that? So that was a little message to the fans today.
Interesting stuff. Rich, thanks so much. Appreciate it.
Anytime, Michael. Take care.
All right. That's Rich Cimini. So, wow. And I'm telling you, I've had that feeling forever, and Rich just seconded that notion. He ain't going anywhere, man. They're tied together, and he is Mougey's boss. Usually the pecking order is the GM is the coach's boss, and I think that's the way it is with the Giants. That's not the way it is with the Jets. The coach was hired first. He selected Mougey. Mougey works the phones. Glenn lays the foundation on what he wants done. Players that he wants in, players that he wants out. It's not Mougey. It's not. So if you think you're going to get rid of Glenn and keep Mougey, dream on. It's not happening. They might not win another game this year. I don't think that's the case. But if they don't win another game this year, Aaron Glenn at 1-16 is still coming back. He's coming back. That's all there is to it. We're coming back in just a moment. Stay right here, The K Show on ESPN New York.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting truly great candidates for your roles? It seems impossible to find them, but they have to be out there somewhere, right? Well, they're not hard to find when you know where to go, and that place is ZipRecruiter. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/ESPN. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. And because these people are actively looking for jobs just like yours, it's easy to find the right person right away. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. But if you're not using ZipRecruiter, you're missing out. So see what it's like when the impossible is easy. When you go to ZipRecruiter.com/ESPN right now to try ZipRecruiter for free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/ESPN. ZipRecruiter.com/ESPN. Never miss out on great candidates with ZipRecruiter.
YouTube TV customers get the sports you love on ESPN back, including college football, college game day, Monday Night Football, the NBA, college basketball, and more. Act now. Go to keepmynetworks.com to get ESPN back.
Dave Rothenberg here to tell you about my friends at Bath Fitter. Now, they converted my kids' bathtub to a shower and did an incredible, really an unbelievable job. They offer all types of custom bath renovations, including their unique PermaFit solution for a watertight fit done in just 1 day. Durable and easy to clean with no demo or mess and lower cost than a standard replacement. And a lifetime guarantee. Right now, no money down, no payments, no interest until 2027. So start designing your bath today like we did at bathfitter.com. There's only one Bath Fitter.
Hey! My dad is bringing home the best birthday cake ever!
It was my 5th birthday, and my dad was bringing home the cake.
Should have been here a half hour ago.
The cake never made it, and neither did my dad.
911, what's your emergency?
That was the day a drunk driver killed my dad.
Daddy?
Impaired drivers take lives. Think.
Sponsored by the New York State Governor's Traffic Safety Committee. Aired in cooperation with the New York State Broadcasters Association.
All the way over Barzell, score! New York Islanders hockey is back at UBS Arena, and it's time to bring the family and make some noise. With more afternoon games this season, the Islanders have special kids-themed games and activities for young fans. Play games pregame at the park and head inside for fun on the concourse and on the ice. Tickets for the 2025-26 season are on sale now. Get your tickets at NewYorkIslanders.com.
Score or win this game day with Amazon Pickup, the MVP of package pickup. Need that new football jersey for the big matchup? With Amazon Pickup, you can collect your order from secure Amazon lockers or counters near you on your schedule. Whether you're running from work or home or straight to the tailgate, Amazon Pickup makes it easy and worry-free at no extra cost. Don't miss kickoff. Grab your gear and your packages when it works for you. Find your nearest Amazon Pickup location at Amazon.com/PickupMVP. That's Amazon.com/PickupMVP.
Target's early Black Friday deals are almost here, and they're bigger than ever.
Take 40% off select gifts and holiday decor for 3 days only, starting this Thursday. Score can't-miss deals on new fits for the whole fam, festive lights and decorations to brighten your home, and even top toys like select Lego sets for endless holiday fun. Shop in-store or online, but don't miss out. These deals are going fast. 40% off gifts and holiday decor starts Thursday, only at Target. Restrictions apply.
Empower. Tim collects bobbleheads. A lot of bobbleheads. Baseball bobbleheads. Race car bobbleheads. Little chihuahua bobbleheads. He's got an entire room strictly for bobbleheads. Does he need them? No. Is his wife mad about it? A little. But Tim works with Empower, and he got good at money, so he can be a little bad. Ooh, horse bobblehead. Classy, Tim. Empower. Invest well, live a little. Start today at empower.com.
In the city that never sleeps and never stops talking sports, ESPN New York is always on. Now you can live and breathe everything New York sports wherever you are. On your radio dial, on the ESPN New York app, and streaming live on YouTube. However you watch or listen, ESPN New York is always on for you. Hear us, stream us, watch us. This is ESPN New York.
Welcome back to the show, everybody. Mike Lupica at 2:30 because it's Wednesday. We have a big show tomorrow. Oh, man. Yeah, that's right. My voice cracked. You know what we have tomorrow, right? We have Dan Orlovsky. We have Chris Sims. And we have Alex Rodriguez, who will have his documentary premiere on HBO Max tomorrow on November 6th. So we'll talk to him about that and the World Series that was just completed. So a big show tomorrow. You should tune in every single day. And you know it's so easy, right? Go to ESPN app, ESPN New York app. You can listen wherever you are. You can be in Timbuktu and just click on the app and boom, you can hear whatever show's on the air at that time on ESPN New York. And while you're on the app, all you have to do is go to the tile with the YouTube page, click on that, subscribe for free. It's quick. It's easy. No muss, no fuss. And you see the show. You watch the show. So you got the video with the audio. And it's synced up, too. It's amazing. I think you'll love it. Thank you so much. You guys have been great over these 2 hours. You tune in record numbers. And we thank you for that, both audibly and visually. And now we'll take some phone calls because you are also the co-host here. Let's go to Bobby in Westchester. Bobby.
Yeah, hi. Hello, Michael.
Hello,
agree
Bob.
with you that they're safe for this year and next year. But the third year, if they're not improving over 500, I don't think they're safe. And like you, I doubt them as a fan since 1967 when he picked Fields over A-Rod. I mean, that's a bad move. You know what I mean? And he's kind of talked out of both sides of his mouth. But I'm a fan of yours, Mike. I actually went to school with Mike Breen, one of your friends in grammar
Really?
school.
At
and,
Salesian?
and I love listening to you. What's that?
Did you go with him at Salesian?
No, I went to St. Paul the Apostle in Yonkers.
Oh,
I know
okay.
Mike for 8 years. He was a good basketball player back then, and he was a very nice guy. And I know his brothers, too. I knew John, the policeman, and I knew a couple of guys that we had just lost. So, but, Mike, I love listening to you. And I like your take on the Jets. Let's not, let it be too easy on these two guys with a con game. So, and I'd like to win one before I go. Have a good day, Mike.
I'd like that for you too, Bobby. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Somebody texted me and reminded me something that Woody said at the introductory press conference. Woody Johnson, Ambassador Johnson. He referred to Darren Mougey, this is a quote, as Aaron Glenn's, quote, sidekick. Sidekick. So Glenn has all the power. Mougey does the legwork. So Glenn's not going anywhere. So if you're a Jet fan and say, well, I like what happened yesterday, now we'll just get rid of the coach and we'll be in good shape. The coach is not going anywhere. He was given an incredible amount of power when he was hired. He got hired first. Mougey got hired second with the check mark from Glenn. So Glenn's telling him what to do, what players to get rid of. You think that he dealt Sauce Gardner without consulting with Glenn. Glenn probably said, you know what, get this guy out of here. See what you can get for him. Same thing with Quinnen Williams. And Glenn probably said, we're not giving up Breece Hall unless we get a third. So Mougey is doing the legwork. Glenn's in charge. He's not going anywhere. Again, you could hope and pray that they keep losing games down. The coach will lose his job. It's not happening. He is not losing his job. Every NFL Thursday is your chance to hit the jackpot on FanDuel. Because with FanDuel's Thursday touchdown jackpot, you can win a share of $2 million in bonus bets each week. To get in on this Thursday's action, all you have to do is place an anytime touchdown scorer bet before the game kicks off. And if your player scores the first or last TD of the game, you'll win your bet plus a share of bonus bets. Just visit FanDuel.com/K to take a shot at the jackpot. That's FanDuel.com/K for your chance to win a share of $2 million in bonus bets. Play your game with FanDuel, an official sports betting partner of the NFL, 21 plus, and physically present in New York. Opt-in required. Must apply profit boost token on select market. Prize pool to be split equally among all eligible participants who made the correct first or last TD pick. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets, which expire 21 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. For help with a gambling problem, call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369.
The Hess truck's back and it's better than ever. Roaring engines this year. Hess race cars are here.
The Hess stock car racers are loaded with lights, sounds, and a powerful racing motor. Only at HessToyTruck.com. Free shipping and batteries included. This is Bart and Carlin on ESPN New York.
Today, if I'm Aaron Glenn and I'm Mougey, I am addressing this team. And I'm saying, we know that this season's over, right? We know that it's a loss, but I just ensured and secured our future. Let's finish strong. Let's come together. And next year, we have enough stuff in our war chest to go out and get impact players immediately.
Bart Scott, Chris Carlin, weekdays at 10 a.m. on ESPN New York and streaming live on YouTube.
For over 100 years, Slomin's has been your trusted partner in comfort. When it comes to home heating oil, we deliver more than just quality fuel. We deliver peace of mind. With price protection, automatic deliveries, 24/7 service, and up to 30 days to pay your invoice. Our dedicated team is just a call away, ensuring you stay warm and comfortable all winter long. Slomin's, New York and New Jersey's largest heating oil provider, proudly serving our community for generations. Give us a call today at 866-GET-HEAT or visit oil.slomins.com.
Serving contractors, builders, and homeowners in the tri-state area since 1987, Brooklyn Window & Door is New York City's largest stocking dealer of quality Andersen window and doors. The professionals at Brooklyn Window & Door will help solve any of your window replacement needs or applications. Visit Brooklyn Window & Door's award-winning showroom to see the complete Andersen product line, including the 400, 100, A&E series. Andersen, built, backed, and serviced like no other window.
Visit Brooklyn Window & Door at 185 30th Street in Brooklyn or call 718-WINDOWS.
Hey, bro, weirdest thing is happening at the game. This guy sitting next to me says, "You're our good luck charm." Every time I crack a Bud Light, we score a touchdown. Now his entire family wants to buy me Bud Lights. I think I'm some kind of a football prophet. Talk soon. The team needs me.
Anything for Bud Light, the official beer sponsor of the NFL. Stock up today. Enjoy responsibly. Copyright 2025 Anheuser-Busch Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Rich Eisen here. As you all know, I care deeply about pediatric cancer research and awareness. That's why I'm proud to talk about Hyundai Hope on Wheels. For over 27 years, every Hyundai sold has helped fund life-saving pediatric cancer research. Together with over 850 dealers nationwide, they've raised more than $277 million, supporting over 25,000 kids in their fight against cancer. At Hyundai, hope isn't optional. It comes standard. Visit HyundaiUSA.com and search Hyundai Hope on Wheels to learn more.
At AT&T, we guarantee our network so you can talk college football with your BFF while taking Buster to the vet.
Hey, yeah, I can't believe he ate the whole thing of chicken wings.
And I can't believe we're staging a comeback. Touchdown! Yes! Yes!
Staying connected matters. That's why in the rare event of a network outage, you'll automatically get a bill credit for a full day's service. For wireless downtime lasting 60 minutes or more caused by a single incident impacting 10 or more towers, must be connected to impacted tower at onset of outage. Restrictions and exclusions apply. See att.com/guarantee for full details.
880 ESPN, WHSQ, and WCBS-FM HD2, New York. A Good Karma Brands radio station.
Welcome back to the show, everybody. 2:01 on the East Coast of the United States, although you could be listening anywhere on that ESPN New York app. We thank you for joining us. Fastest 2 hours in sports talk. So we got 1 hour out of the way. We have Mike Lupica coming on at 2:30. We touched on this a bit yesterday, and I wanted to dig a little bit deeper as well because there was a lot of reaction on the YouTube channel comment section. Ian O'Connor of The Athletic, who's great, I mean, one of the great writers in this country, got a hold of Brian Cashman and asked him, if it was time for a rebuild on this team. And Cashman said no. He said, and if I felt that it was time, then I would suggest it to ownership, and that's, what we would try to move forward and do. He said, but no, I don't think that, we would rebuild at all. And I've got to be honest, I could not agree with Cashman more. I mean, anybody that would say, oh, yeah, you got to break this down, like what the Jets are doing, and break it down to the studs and build up from there, why? They won the same amount of games as the Blue Jays, 94. Those two teams won more games than anybody in the American League. Those two teams won one more game in the regular season than the Dodgers did. So when I said this in passing on yesterday's show, which, 98.5% of the show was about the Jets, on the YouTube comments page was, you're out of your mind, this team is so far away. And what I would say is, and this is not even, even coming close to being Yankee boy, did you see the Vegas odds? I mean, they're early, and they're kind of silly at this point, simply because of the fact that, we don't know what the teams are going to be. But the favorite to win the World Series in all of baseball is the Dodgers. The second best odds to win the World Series, the New York Yankees. And does it make any sense to anybody, even those that don't like Cashman and don't like Boone, why you would tear down a team where you have one of the greatest right-handed hitters in the history of the game about to enter his age 34 season? They would never, ever, nor should they, trade Aaron Judge. So why would you build or rebuild around him and waste what could be the final couple of years of the prime of his career? Makes no sense. So I think that Cashman gave a perfect answer. This is not a team that you rebuild. This is a team that you reload. Now, this team is going to be completely different, the 2026 Yankees, than the 2025 Yankees. We don't know if Bellinger's coming back. We don't know if Grisham's coming back. We don't. At the beginning of the year, there will be no Cole. There will be no Rodon. There will be no Schmidt. So we don't know what the starting rotation's going to be. We don't know who the shortstop's going to be because Volpe allegedly will not be able to start the season as he rehabs from the shoulder surgery. Will it be Caballero? Maybe. Is Ben Rice going to be your first baseman? Could be. Is going to be a right-handed component to third base with McMahon? Maybe. So nothing's set in stone. The team is completely fluid. But as long as you have Aaron Judge and you have the pitching that they're going to have this year, because Cole will come back, and Rodon should come back by May. Schmidt's going to come back maybe by third week of August. Three pretty good pitchers to join, Max Fried and Cam Schlittler, and then Will Warren. Do I think they need to go out and get another pitcher? Yeah, because you don't know how good those guys are going to come back from their injuries. But for sure, you don't tear this team down. Also, that's not what the Yankees do. The closest they ever came to tearing it down was 2016. And they rebuilt on the fly. They traded people at the trade deadline because they realized they weren't good enough. They weren't going to make the playoffs. So let's get rid of Aroldis Chapman. Let's get rid of Andrew Miller. And let's make trades. And they got back Gleyber Torres in the Chapman deal. And he was the second baseman or shortstop for 6 years. The trade with the then Indians for Miller didn't turn out that great. Clint Frazier didn't have a great career with the Yankees. Sheffield wasn't great as a pitcher. But that's the rebuild that they looked at. And then in 2017, with a young team, Gary Sanchez behind the plate, you know what? They made the 7th game of the American League Championship Series. That's as far as a rebuild as the Yankees are ever going to get. That's why they've had a winning season every single year since 1993. That streak means something to them. And it also means something to them that going into every single season, they're going to have a chance to win a World Series. They're going to have a chance. Doesn't always happen. Hasn't happened since 2009. They did get to the World Series 2024. Didn't happen then. They lost in 5 games. And they got to the ALDS last year, and they lost in 4 games to the Blue Jays, who ended up going to the 11th inning of Game 7 of the World Series. Yankees are always going to try to be competitive. You got to feed the beast. They've got to get attendance over 40,000 all the time. They want to get people continuing to tune in to the YES Network. They're never going to rebuild. They're never going to say, okay, what the Jets have done essentially, what the Nets embarrassingly continue to do, we're going to blow this season out. We expect you to buy tickets and watch the games, but we're not going to be competitive. They're never going to do it. Not under this ownership. They're not. I don't think their fan base could take it because, let's be honest, the fan base can't take not winning the World Series. Forget about not making the playoffs. The fan base goes nuts on not making, winning another championship. And I get it because that's what they're always promised, or at least they were by George Steinbrenner. And the last 2 captains, Judge and Jeter. So I understand that aspect. I'm not denigrating them for that. What I'm saying is that if they get that upset that they don't win the World Series, even though they make the playoffs and have the best record tied with the Blue Jays in the American League, imagine what they would feel if there were 2 years, 3 years of 70 wins, finishing last place in the East. I don't think it would work. It wouldn't work. Not in this city. I don't think it works with the Nets. And I've been very highly critical of what the Nets are doing. To just give away a year, give away 2 years. The Nets might not win 16 or 17 games this year. They might not. But they continue to charge prices. The Jets are not going to make the playoffs for the 15th straight year. They continue to raise prices for tickets. And all you have to do is go to a Jet game and see the empty seats or see the opposing team's fans in those seats. Fans are not going to support losing teams in New York. They're not. I think the only fan base that does that, essentially, would be the Rangers. And how about the Rangers? Can they score a goal at home? It's unbelievable. They haven't won a game yet. They're 2 losses away from the all-time record of starting a season without a win at home. This is after playing well on the West Coast. 1-800-919-3776. Let's go to Glenn in Connecticut. Glenn.
Hey, Michael. Thanks for taking the call.
You got it.
I think the rebuilding question was bait. Usually rebuild means selling your best players for prospects, and anyone who does that, who thinks that's going to happen with Aaron Judge in his prime, I don't think watches enough baseball. But I did want to get your opinion on what you think they're going to do this offseason. Do you think Murataki Murakami, I don't know if I said that right, but hopefully it was close. Do you think he's a target? What do you think are some pieces that they're looking to kind of reload with, and maybe if they're having a different strategy this year with more contact, less power? Wanted to get your 2 cents on that.
The Murakami question, if you would ask me that, Glenn, maybe 2 years ago, I'd say that he was going to be a target. But then when you look at the way the game is turned right now, and they also did get McMahon, right, who signed for 2 more years. Murakami is a high strikeout guy who has a swing that would play into home runs at Yankee Stadium. But the Yankees are a little too left-handed, too. So I'm not sure they go after Murakami. There's another Japanese player. His name is slipping by. Munitori, who's also an infielder that they could platoon either with Rice or with McMahon. I think that's more likely. Murakami, though, is going to cost a lot of money, and it's a lot of strikeouts. I think the big question with the Yankees, and I don't have the answer to it right now, will they go after Tucker? Because I think Tucker's going to cost anywhere from $400 to $450 million for maybe a 12-year deal. I don't think the Yankees would go that route because he's not really a left fielder. He'd have to play left field. You can't put Aaron Judge in left field at 34 years old. The better defender is Bellinger, He's going to cost a lot less money. Now, he's 2.5 years older than Tucker. I think Tucker's a better player, though. I'm being honest with you. But is he that much of a better player for that much money? So that's going to be the big question. Do they bring back Bellinger? Do they make a run at Tucker? And do they give the qualifying offer to Grisham, which I would not do? So many people I respect, have said, well, there's no such thing as a bad one-year deal. I think there is. Because if he goes out on the free agent market, in my opinion, and his defense is not the same as it was 2 or 3 years ago. Yankees could rave all they want about Grisham in center field. His defense has deteriorated. You look at all the inside stats, it's not the same. If he goes out on the free agent market, he'll probably get, at most, $12 million a year for 3 years. Maybe $39 for 3. Maybe. And I think that's a push. You're going to give him $22 million? Because if they offer him that contract, the qualifying offer, he'll take it. He's not making $22 million anywhere. And if he doesn't take it, is it worth the risk that he takes it? Because if you offer it with the hope that, well, he wants a multi-year deal, what are you going to get? A 4th-round draft pick? A compensatory 4th-round draft pick? Because you're over the cap, so you don't get a high draft pick. The more you get over the cap and the repeat offender you are, you get lower draft picks for compensation. There's no way I would risk him taking a 1-year, $22 million deal. Because that's $10 million that you can't spend somewhere else. I'd rather go with the kid who's not even near the defender that Grisham is. Are we going to see what Jason Dominguez is or not? I'm not bringing Grisham back for $22 million. I'm just not. I know he had a great year last year. 34 home runs. He's not worth a 1-year, $22 million deal. That you're taking up $22 million of this year's payroll. For what? Makes no sense. Joe in New Jersey. Joe.
Hey, Mike. How are you?
Good. How you doing?
Good. Thank you for taking the call. But what I wanted to tell you, I wanted to bring up 2 quick points. No, but one, if you had to really get a pitcher, I would really like to think if we can, do what we can to get Sandy Alcantara for the New York Yankees. The guy's reliable. I know he had an injury with his arm and stuff, but I think the guy really can pitch. I think he can beat. I think he's just a reliable option for a pitching rotation. And the second point I wanted to ask you, as much as a Yankee fan as I am, that wants Soto to make it to the playoffs, and there's big news that it's a Mets town and all this other BS, the guy did not produce well enough to get their team to the postseason. My question to you is, why couldn't there be just one journalist to say, hey, listen, you said this was a Mets town. What happened that you didn't bring your team to the World Series? What happened there?
Well,
that's all
the only ones that were saying it was a Met town were Met fans. And some columnists or opinionists. Everybody has a right to their opinion, but I'm not going to knock Juan Soto. I don't know if you guys saw it. Juan Soto is in the top 3 for the MVP in the National League. Now, he's not going to win, but he's in the top 3. It's Schwarber, Soto, and the guy who's going to win is Ohtani. So you can't sell me on the fact that Soto didn't have a good year. He's top 3 in the MVP. They didn't make the playoffs, not because of Soto. They didn't make the playoffs because their pitching went south. Their bullpen was awful. Other players on the team didn't play well. It wasn't on Juan Soto. Met town, Yankee town. The team that wins is gonna get the most love. Mets had a great year at the box office. So did the Yankees. Mets had a great year on SNY. So did the Yankees. This is a baseball town. There's room for both teams. The little brother, big brother stuff. Win some World Series before you could even think about being a big brother. It's just the way it works. But I'm not going to put any blame on Juan Soto. Juan Soto was great. Let's go to Anthony in Toms River. Anthony.
Hi, Michael. How are you?
Good. How are you doing, Anthony?
Good. First, I'd like to say you do a phenomenal job with your show, Mike. I really enjoy listening to you.
Thank you, man.
Two quick opinions. First, on the Aaron Glenn thing. I don't know if you remember, a couple of weeks ago, you had Mike Lupica on, and you were talking about Aaron Glenn with the Rodgers situation. My personal opinion is I think anybody that's going to challenge Aaron Glenn's intellect as far as being a head coach, he wants to get rid of. And they always reference, Mike Lupica did actually, they reference, you said, what about his confidence? And Lupica referenced his football career. Mm-hmm. There's a big difference between being a great football player than a football coach. My opinion is he's a mediocre coach at best. That's just my opinion. I really don't think.
Listen, it's hard for me to argue with that opinion, Ant, because so far they're 1-7, and the team doesn't show discipline, and they continue to commit penalties and mistakes. So there's a lack of discipline on the field, and the culture that he said he's building, we haven't seen it yet. So the early returns are it's not good. He doesn't seem like he has a real good feel on the field yet. But I will say this, and if you listen to the show enough, you're going to hear a lot of things over and over again. Bill Parcells was 3-12-1 in his first year, and it was talk about getting rid of him. Sometimes it takes a while. Bill Belichick's first year in Cleveland wasn't good. In fact, he got fired from his first job, his first head coaching job. Came back to the Jets, then went to the Patriots, and he's considered the greatest coach of all time. So I'm not going to harshly judge Aaron Glenn's ability to coach this early. But the early returns are not good. The way he handles the media, not good. The combative nature that he has without any championships, not good, bad look. But I think, if anything, yesterday further emboldens him. The owner had to sign off on those deals. So by trading away the present for the future, you're telling Glenn, you're the future. You're going to make these picks. Glenn's not going anywhere. He's not. And now we're entrusting him to pick the quarterback of the future when he's a defensive-minded coach. Bold strategy, Cotton. Let's go to Ted in the truck. Ted.
Hey, how you doing, Michael K?
I'm great. How you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm a Giants fan, but I'm not a Jets hater by any means. And honestly, I don't get why any Jet fan would be upset with what they did yesterday. They got rid of an overrated cornerback with a great nickname, and they got the same return as the Cowboys did for Micah Parsons.
A better return.
I think that was a great – I know. It was a great move, okay? And then this notion that they chose Fields over Aaron Rodgers, and people are like, I wonder why they did that. It wasn't because of the play of Aaron Rodgers. It was because they didn't want to deal with him anymore. And let's not gloss over that, like, we don't understand what Aaron Glenn was doing. That's why they did it. And they didn't miss on the quarterback. They gave Fields a shot in a year that they knew they weren't going to be that good. They gave the guy a shot. He's not the answer. They don't have their quarterback yet. They didn't choose anyone. So they didn't miss on the quarterback. That media spin is insane to me.
One thing I'd argue with you about, they did miss on the quarterback. They guaranteed the guy $30 million. He wasn't just a guy that
for a year.
For 2 years, $15 million a year. It's a $40 million deal, $30 million guaranteed. That's more than taking a flyer on a guy. Because he came out and said he wasn't coached well in Chicago, wasn't coached well in Pittsburgh. We're gonna figure it out here. They haven't. It was a bad call by them.
To say that he wasn't coached well in Pittsburgh is ridiculous. Tomlin's a great coach, and he let him go. That should have told you all you needed to know. They didn't choose Rodgers, though, because they didn't want to deal with him, and I don't blame them, okay? I wouldn't want to deal with a 40-year-old Rodgers either. The guy's a pain in the butt, and you know it. All right? That move to me was so simple, it wasn't even funny. I think the Jets are on the right track. If I'm a Jet fan, at least I see that, hey, we have pieces for the future, and maybe, just maybe, for once in our lives, we can get it right. And you know what? I kind of like it. I really do.
Well, the whole thing comes down, Ted, do they get the quarterback? When you say pieces for the future, Sauce Gardner, who's considered one of the top cornerbacks in football, is 25 years old. That's a guy who could be a piece for the future. I'm just concerned that this football administration fumbles the ball. Now, I understand why they didn't bring back Rodgers, but it wasn't because of talent. It was because he did not want to battle with Rodgers and have Rodgers questioning the things that he does. And knowing Rodgers and seeing what Aaron Glenn's about, there would be a lot of friction there, so it was probably the right move. But if it was a football move that you thought that Fields was a better player than Rodgers, then that's bad. You also signed Sauce Gardner to a contract, $30 million a year. It was smartly structured, but you pretty much a foundational piece. 8 games into the season, he's traded. And that tells you that they're not getting a real good read on talent. They're just not. They're not getting a real good read on talent. Let's go to Mo in Jacksonville. Mo.
Hey, Michael. I want to compare the Jets' current situation to what happened to my Jaguars in 2021 when they got the first pick. They drafted Trevor Lawrence. They hired one of the worst coaches. So, if you have the wrong coach in place, it doesn't matter any draft capital, cap space you have. It's not going to work out. So after Urban got fired and, Doug Peterson got released and you finally get the right people in place like Liam Cohen, James Gladstone, and, the people that the owner hired, you're seeing a 5-3 record and a relatively quick turnaround. So the draft capital and, the cap space that you may have, all that good stuff, is all, like we say, air, unless you have the right people in the building. And I think that's the biggest question with them.
Well, absolutely, but you can't say, Mo, that you compare the Jets to what's going on in Jacksonville. I mean, whether he's never lived up to the promise, which was high promise when he came out, you have a top-flight quarterback, or at least a guy that's expected to be top-flight in Trevor Lawrence. Jets don't have a quarterback. And if you look at the draft upcoming, tell me the quarterback that even comes close to the potential of Trevor Lawrence. And you're saying, your premise that was on the screen before I took the phone call, they could turn it around quickly. Well, they went through 2 coaches before they got to Liam Cohen. So that took a long time. And Cohen is an offensive mind. Aaron Glenn's not. So in this draft, do you think Mendoza is the equal to Trevor Lawrence? I don't. Anybody else that might come out, you think they're the equal to Trevor Lawrence? I don't. And Trevor Lawrence has not even lived up to that high ceiling that everybody thought he had. But it's taken a long time. It's taken a really long time, and it still hasn't turned around completely. So I don't think this is a quick turnaround for the Jets. That's what's disheartening for Jet fans. Yeah, the moves yesterday were the right moves. But are the right people in place to execute those draft picks? Do you think this is going to be quick? If you think this is going to be quick, I would argue with you. It's not going to be quick. I think next year is going to be a losing year too. And then if the quarterback is chosen in 2027, you can't expect a really quick turnaround. You can't. You can't. And for those that think that Aaron Glenn is going to be Jared Mayo, no, he's not. The only reason Mayo lost his job after 1 year was because Mike Vrabel was available. Who's going to be available that's going to make Woody Johnson change his mind? No one. Because Woody Johnson is really stubborn. Really stubborn. I don't think he's going to admit that much of a massive mistake where you'd have to pay off Glenn, pay off Mougey, pay off all the assistant coaches you locked into for that length of time, and then bring in somebody else where you have to pay a lot of money too. I don't see them doing that. I don't see them doing that. Let's go to Nat in Long Island. Nat.
Mike, how you doing?
I'm great. How are you?
Okay. Mike, let me ask you a question. Have you spoken to your old buddy, John Sterling, lately? I was wondering how he was doing and if you might have him upcoming as a guest on the show. I miss that guy. He's so
I talk to him. I talk to him about once a week. He's doing great. Sounds great. Seems happy. He has an hour talk show on Saturday afternoon on 770 WABC. Kind of a conversational show with guests. He usually has 2 guests on for an hour, and he's doing wonderfully. Yeah, I talk to him. Hopefully once a week, and we're gonna have dinner soon, and I'll give you a further update. But he sounds great. His kids are great, so yeah, he's doing very, very well. Hey, YouTube TV customers, get the sports you love on ESPN back, including college football, college game day, Monday Night Football, NBA, college basketball, and more. Act now. Go to keepmynetworks.com to get ESPN back. Coming back, we're going to have Mike Lupica. It's his spot on Wednesday. We'll break down what the Jets did with him and also one final look at a great, great World Series. Michael K. and Mike Lupica coming up next on The K Show, rolling till 3 on ESPN New York.
Win Wednesday with Don, Hahn, and Rosenberg. Can the Knicks make it 3 in a row?
Throw it down with the right hand. Karl Anthony Towns has been dominant tonight.
Has Karl Anthony Towns gotten comfortable in Mike Brown's system?
Cat was a monster. He was a monster on the glass. He was really good defensively. He was a monster inside, outside. He's starting to find his rhythm in what we're trying to do.
Don, Hahn, and Rosenberg today at 3 on ESPN New York and streaming live on YouTube.
Ox Spine at New York Presbyterian is always in pursuit of a better way to heal the spine. We're getting more people moving again with minimally invasive, non-surgical, and surgical treatments with innovative solutions for every back and spine condition and your unique needs. Expert spine care is available now across New York City and Westchester. Find a doctor at nyp.org/oxspine. Stay amazing. New York Presbyterian.
At Uline, they know going the extra mile takes hard work. For companies pushing to go further, Uline will go the distance with you. 24/7, they answer the phone to get you the shipping and industrial supplies you need. Business can move fast. Unexpected large orders, adverse weather, new safety guidelines, and changing economic trends. Uline works hard keeping 41,000 items ready to ship, minimizing detours on your way to the extra mile. Visit uline.com.
Every aspect of your business will operate better and faster with artificial intelligence. AI is a race, and companies that act first will win. Thrive Managed AI is your advantage over all your competitors. Thrive partners with you on a smart, secure AI strategy for your business. Then they deploy and manage it for you. Be first and win the race with Thrive Managed AI. Start with a complimentary strategy consultation at thrivenextgen.com/ESPN. That's thrivenextgen.com/ESPN.
To the net. Score!
The New York Islanders are back in action with a brand new theme night schedule you won't want to miss. Bring your friends out for the holidays and take home a custom holiday replica jersey or arrive early for special bobblehead giveaway nights for Matt Barzell and Bo Horvat.
Barzell for Horvat. Score!
Explore the full theme night schedule at NewYorkIslanders.com.
Hey, it's Alan Hahn. Let me tell you about my friends at Bath Fitter. They remodeled the bath by my pool. They converted a tub into a shower. The result is amazing. Bath Fitter offers all types of custom bath renovations, including their unique PermaFit solution for a watertight fit. It's done in one day, easy to clean, and durable with no demo or mess, and it costs less than a standard replacement. Plus, a lifetime guarantee. Right now, you get no money down, no payments, or interest until 2027. So start designing your bath today at bathfitter.com. There's only one Bath Fitter.
At City Harvest, we believe no New Yorker has to go hungry. With your help, we're on the road 365 days a year, rescuing over 77 million pounds of nutritious food and delivering it free to millions of New Yorkers, transforming surplus food into sustenance, sustainability, and smiles, rallying thousands of New Yorkers to power a network of nourishment across our city. One day, one meal, and one New Yorker at a time. That's how we feed good. Donate at cityharvest.org.
Is college even worth it these days? At Empire State University, it actually is. They are SUNY's leading online university. Flexible, affordable, and built for real life. With more than 120 degree programs, you can study what matters most to you. And students agree. They're ranked #1 in student satisfaction among SUNY schools. Whether you are finishing what you started or starting fresh, your goals are within reach. See for yourself. Visit SUNYEmpire.edu before the next term begins.
There he goes to the 20, 10, 5. That's a Jet touchdown. That's a Jet touchdown.
Jets fans, be there at MetLife Stadium to see the New York Jets take on the Cleveland Browns on Sunday, November 9th at 1 p.m., presented by Verizon. Don't miss your chance to experience the excitement of game day at MetLife Stadium and cheer on your Jets. Lock in your seats at nyjets.com/tickets and get ready to clear the runway.
Veterans Day is a time for all of us to reflect on the courage, dedication, and sacrifice of those who've served our nation. It's a reminder of the values that unite us: honor, service, and commitment. Navy Federal Credit Union celebrates veterans of all branches today and every day Their legacy is built on commitment and understanding, proudly serving the military community for over 90 years. They serve more than 2 million veterans, and many of their employees are veterans, military family members, and reservists themselves. That means they truly understand what service and support look like. This November, Navy Federal is partnering with Travis Manion Foundation's Veterans Day of Service campaign, connecting veterans and families of the fallen with local volunteer opportunities that strengthen communities across the country. If you want to be part of a financial institution that honors, supports, and stands beside veterans and their families, join today at NavyFederal.org/veterans. To all who've served, thank you, and happy Veterans Day. Navy Federal Credit Union. Our members are the mission. Navy Federal is insured by NCUA.
Welcome back to the show, everybody. A couple of baseball moves with the Yankees. They picked up the $3 million option on Tim Hill. Jonathan Loaisiga, they declined the $5 million option as he's coming back from another arm surgery. The Braves just announced that they hired 2 ex-Met coaches. They're formerly highly thought of Jeremy Hefner is going to be the Braves pitching coach, and Anton Richardson, the first base coach who turned Juan Soto into a stolen base machine. He is also going to the Braves with Walt Weiss as the new manager. All right, it's Wednesday at 2:31. That means it's time for Mike Lupica. We always have the award-winning journalist from the New York Daily News, MLB.com, and best-selling author on with us at this time. Mike, how you doing?
You know, shame on the Yankees all over again for not letting a thoroughbred like Juan Soto run the bases, Michael.
You know what? I guess that turned out to be a mistake. You're right. But let's see if he runs without Anton Richardson now.
Well, my God. They had another Ricky Henderson and didn't know it. It's unbelievable. How are you, Michael?
I'm doing great. Are you feeling good about the Jets after what they did yesterday?
No. No, they're the Jets. No, there's never anything to feel good about with the Jets. Here's the thing. It's amazing that after going this long without the playoffs, since, Rex and Sanchez and Cannonbaum and all that stuff, they are no closer to being a winning team today than they have been at any point in those 15 years where they've had the longest playoff drought in the league. And did they make good deals yesterday? Oh, no, they did, Michael. They absolutely they got a lot more for Sauce Gardner than I ever would have paid because I've thought he was vastly overrated, even from the time he showed up a rookie. Darrelle Revis, he ain't. Quinnen Williams is a stud and will help the Cowboys mightily. So now they've got a pocket full of number 1 draft choices. And I just think about all the other teams and didn't Sean Marks have a pocket full of draft choices, Michael?
Yeah.
And you see that they're no closer to being a winning team. Does the new general manager, does he know what he's doing? We're about to find out. All we know for now is that he got a lot of return for Gardner and Quinnen Williams. Will he know what to do with them? I have no idea, and no Jets fan does either. And once again, next April, we are going to be with the Jets where we have largely been for the last 50-plus years, looking for the next savior at quarterback. And, Michael, stop me if you've heard that one before. It was going to be Sam Darnold. It was going to be Zach Wilson. And you just wonder, looking at college football this year, Mike, who's the guy out there that even if they do everything all right is going to be a game changer?
It's not out there, Mike, and that's why they probably wait till 2027. So this is going to get longer.
Yeah. I mean, could they find their own Jackson Dart? I don't know. And here's the thing about Jackson Dart, Mike. I like him, okay? As a lifelong Giants fan, I'm excited about this kid's possibilities. But we don't know what his ceiling is, Michael. And the idea that they can now build their, every hope and ambition about the future. I don't know. The Giants aren't close to being any good either. They're just better than the Jets, but oh my God, what a low bar that is.
See, and I opened the show with this, Mike. I thought the Giants put themselves in this kind of hellish state this year. They're kind of half pregnant. Are these guys going to be here for the future, Shane and Dable? Because they sat on their hands during the trade deadline. They could have made deals, but why would ownership let them make a deal for the future if they're not part of the future? The Giants put themselves in this nebulous state, And they're not in any great shakes, too. Yeah, we could say they have the quarterback, Mike, but what else do they have? Do they have the coach?
Mike, they might end up with as bad a record this year as they had last year.
Yep.
And for all the talk about the quarterback, and he does have moxie, and he's got arm, and he's got guts, and I'm afraid they're going to get him killed, okay? With all of that, they have given up 105 points in the last 9 quarters of football they've played. 105 points. And what's stopping them from stopping the other team? There are so many weaknesses in and out of the system. I looked this up the other day because I was curious. I went back and looked at the partnership of John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan in San Francisco because they inherited a crap team. It took them 3 years to be in the Super Bowl, Mike. This is year 4 of Shane and Dable. And if you think, and by the way, I saw, now we're seeing stories of, well, if one could stay and the other could go. Well, okay. If that's happening, that means one of them probably is going to stay and one of them probably is going to go.
Right.
But tell me that let's put the coach aside for a second. You look at the general manager and Abdul Carter, jury's very much out on him. Okay, it's not for now. He's not the next Lawrence Taylor. He got Jackson Dart and he got Malik Neighbors, but an awful lot of good players have also been allowed to walk out the door on his watch.
He also got Evan Neal.
What?
He also got Evan Neal. That's on his resume too.
Yeah, it is, isn't it? But Mike, how could he might be a very good scout, but that doesn't mean he's a good general manager. And so the Giants right now, they're not even stuck in the middle, Mike, because we used to talk about that with the Knicks before they got really good last year, how they were in a bad place even for a decent team, which is stuck in the middle. Giants aren't even anywhere near the middle. The middle would be up for them. And what were they, 3-14 last year? They got to win some games. You look at that game last Sunday, Michael, and I'm not saying, obviously, the 49ers have more talent on both sides of the ball than the Giants do. But the 49ers have had a ton of injuries, and somehow they're winning football games, and they came into Jersey and rolled the Giants. So now the Giants have gotten rolled by them. They got rolled at the end by the Broncos, and they sure got rolled by the Eagles. And so you got to show me where the place is, other than quarterback right now, that we're supposed to feel optimistic about the Giants.
Couldn't agree with you more. Now, one thing that I wonder if you have an explanation for, because it bothers me. It's always bothered me. Teams that just cavalierly give up seasons and tank, like the Nets. The Nets are not even trying to win this year, but they're still charging prices. The Jets, after yesterday, they could say they're trying to win. They're not. Can you actually ever co-sign on a team just giving away seasons? Like the Astros gave away seasons, the Orioles gave away, the Sixers gave away seasons. These are seasons that you'll never get back, and you're charging prices for it. How is it allowed? How are leagues allowing teams to do that?
Wait, Mike, you say you don't trust the process?
No.
Wait, what? No, it is the dark underbelly of professional sports. And I think the Jets are trying. I mean, I think the Jets are trying hard. They were trying hard against the Bengals, and they finally won a game. But even with them, we've talked about this before. I want Aaron Glenn to succeed. He seems like a good man. He was a great Jet, all that stuff. But what indication do you have from him that he has the game to elevate this team? I don't. People say this, and they're right, Michael. I know they're bad, but should they be this bad?
No.
I mean, they had a couple of good players that they got a lot for, so there obviously is some talent on the team. And if you're Garrett Wilson, how soon are you going to be looking for the door?
I wouldn't blame him. He doesn't have anybody to throw to him, that's for sure. I don't want to let this segment go by without having you or giving you a chance to opine on the World Series as a whole in Game 7, because I used to think that the 2001 World Series was the best I've ever seen because there were 3 great forever games, but there were some lousy games in there too. This one was 7 really memorable games.
Mike, it's the greatest World Series I've ever seen. It ended with the greatest Game 7 I've ever seen. I know people will give you Mazeroski, and we sure saw an amazing Game 7 in Phoenix in 2001. Michael, no Game 7, even the Cubs in 2016, ever had more in this game, starting with the fact, and it became a sidebar by the end, the 2 future Hall of Famers were the starting pitchers in that game.
Yep.
And then you factor in Rojas's home run. And then you factor in everything we saw in the bottom of the ninth. Mike, here's the thing about the Dodgers and why the Dodgers are who they are and what they are, okay? They make physical errors sometimes, everybody does, but they don't beat themselves. And look at what we saw in the bottom of the ninth. Because let me tell you something about the Dodgers. If they had a guy on third when Quinnen was there, he would have had a bigger lead. Because, Mike, you know the deal on that. You have to have a league that's as big as the distance between the third baseman and the bag. And the idea that, you got to watch out for a double play. Well, yeah, maybe the third baseman was going to get hit by lightning there. You got to score, okay? And you got to run through the base too, probably. And then how about Dave Roberts having made the defensive switch, really because of Pages' arm as opposed to his fielding ability, but he's a pretty damn good fielder. That play is a play that will be replayed forever. The thing I love about it, not the collision, but Kike Hernandez is face down out there, not because he's hurt, because he thinks there's no way the ball could have been caught, and they just lost the World Series. And Pages said to him, "Are you okay?" And Kike looked up and he said, "Did you catch that ball?" And Pages said, "Yeah." And then Kike jumped up and said, "Let's go." And then with all of that, then I give you Yamamoto. Mike, we saw Randy Johnson come out of the bullpen that night in 2001 and finish Game 7 after starting Game 6. He pitched 1 1/3. Yamamoto pitched 3 and had to keep falling out of trees and land on his feet. Oh no, it's just I loved everything about this series. I had no real skin in the game, and in the end, the biggest winner of all, as big as the Dodgers, was baseball. Mm-hmm. And as I wrote yesterday in the Daily News, which would make it even more shameful if they shut this sport down after next season.
You know, I said that yesterday too. I told somebody from baseball, Rob should start negotiating the television contracts now. 51 million people watch that game. I mean, we talk about the NBA being the hip sport. Baseball's blown it out for 2 straight years in terms of ratings.
Michael, it was a celebration, and I think we talked about this last week. Still, no sport frames one big moment after another the way baseball does. And as my dear friend Bob Ryan, one of the great sports writers of all time, describes baseball, the greatest game ever invented by mortal minds.
It was riveting. I mean, there was so much drama, and the fact that it took 7 games is you allow the soap opera to build up, and you get to know all the people that are acting in it. That's why sports cost so much for rights, because it's not scripted. Anything could happen.
Mike, and we factor in this. The Dodgers had to fight off 2 match points at the end. Yep. They got to win Game 6 before they even get to Game 7, the same way they had to win 2 games like that against the Padres last year. Oh, no, it's I'm sorry it's over, Michael. I was thinking the other night, God, I wish there was a baseball game tonight.
Yeah, I felt the same way. I mean, it was something, I sat there with my son, and, he was riveted as a 10-year-old. To keep a 10-year-old's attention, Mike, as you know, is tough, and he was there every pitch of the way. So, I mean, people that love baseball, like the two of us, I mean, we loved it even more than he did. So I think it was great with young fans and great for all fans. It served everybody. And you know what? Here's the thing about Charlie. He's growing up with the Yankees, but he loved a World Series that didn't involve them, because even at 10, you know what's great. I was little when Mazeroski hit his home run over Yogi's head that day. Mm-hmm.
as Pete Hamill used to say, the template has already been cut for Charlie Kay. All right, it's already been cut, and once that love of baseball is inside him, and he's got a memory like that, it'll never leave him.
Absolutely, Mike. Thanks so much. We'll talk to you next Wednesday.
Okay, pal. Bye-bye.
All right. That's Mike Lupica. We talk to him every Wednesday at 2:30. Hey, every NFL Thursday is your chance to hit the jackpot on FanDuel. Because with FanDuel's Thursday touchdown jackpot, you win a share of $2 million in bonus bets each week. To get on this Thursday's action, all you have to do is place an anytime touchdown scorer bet before the game kicks off. And if your player scores the first or last TD of the game, you'll win your bet plus a share of bonus bets. Just visit FanDuel.com/K to take a shot at the jackpot. Again, that's FanDuel.com/K for your chance to win a share of $2 million in bonus bets. Play your game with FanDuel, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. 21 plus and physically present in New York. Opt-in required. Must apply. Profit boost token on select market. Prize pool will be split equally among all eligible participants who made the correct first or last TD pick. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets, which expire 21 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. For help with a gambling problem, call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369.
Hey, bro, weirdest thing is happening at the game. This guy sitting next to me says, "You're our good luck charm." Every time I crack a Bud Light, we score a touchdown. Now his entire family wants to buy me Bud Lights. I think I'm some kind of a football prophet. Talk soon. The team needs me.
Anything for Bud Light, the official beer sponsor of the NFL. Stock up today. Enjoy responsibly. Copyright 2025 Anheuser-Busch Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
1-877 Cards for Kids. KARS Cards for Kids. 1-877 Cards for Kids. Donate your card today.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Ready to get rid of that old car? Donate it to Cars for Kids. Call 1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS to reach a friendly live agent. Donation's super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Call us now, 1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS. That's Cars with a K to donate your car today.
1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Did you know you can donate real estate too? Go to carsforkids.org. That's carsforkids.org.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/ESPN. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free. At ZipRecruiter.com/ESPN. That's ZipRecruiter.com/ESPN. ZipRecruiter.com/ESPN.
Hey, it's Alan Hahn. Let me tell you about my friends at Bathfitter. They remodeled the bath by my pool. They converted a tub into a shower. The result is amazing. Bathfitter offers all types of custom bath renovations, including their unique PermaFit solution for a watertight fit. It's done in one day, easy to clean, and durable with no demo or mess, and it costs less than a standard replacement. Plus, a lifetime guarantee. Right now, you get no money down, no payments or interest until 2027. So start designing your bath today at bathfitter.com. There's only one Bathfitter.
At 365. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in New Jersey. T&Cs apply.
Out here,
days are getting a little cooler, and mornings are starting with a few more layers. It's the season for more time at the grill, more feed for your animals. Heaters burn late into the night, and the woods start calling your name. We appreciate hard-working hands, shared moments, and love for our land. That's why season after season, we're here for your life out here. Tractor Supply.
Your ambition just met its match with Robinhood. Trade stocks and ETFs, options, futures, and crypto all on one platform. Get started today at Robinhood.com/yourmoney. Your money, your move. All investments involve risk, including loss of principal. Options, futures, and crypto trading carry significant risk and may not suit all investors. Securities offered through Robinhood Financial LLC, member SIPC. Futures trading is offered by Robinhood Derivatives LLC, not FDIC or SIPC protected. Crypto offered through Robinhood Crypto LLC, NMLS ID 1702840, not FDIC or SIPC protected. Portfolio management offered by Robinhood Strategies, an SEC registered advisor.
You live for this. The wins, the losses, the slam dunks, and the buzzer beaters. The dream that this is your team's year. Hope, it's what keeps you coming back. So you represent with anticipation and with pride. Because when everything's on the line, your support means everything. That's why the NBA Store is here to support you. Check out the largest selection of official NBA gear at NBAstore.com. A Fanatics experience.
Hey, ESPN New York is giving you the chance to experience UFC 322 at Madison Square Garden on November 15th. So it's happening soon. One grand prize winner and a guest will score tickets to the ESPN New York Suite hosted by Peter Rosenberg. Enjoy the energy of the Garden, the comfort of a private suite, and world-class UFC action alongside one of New York's biggest sports personalities. Yeah, that's what they're calling Peter. To enter, find the contest tile on the ESPN New York app. To submit your entry, it's brought to you by Bud Light, proud to be the official beer sponsor of UFC. Bud Light, easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch, Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri. All right, the Knicks and the T-Wolves tonight. That should be a good game. Nice test for the Knicks with Anthony Edwards coming back. A good game for Karl Anthony Towns in the previous game, and the Knicks have played well since coming off a rough road trip. And the Nets against Indiana. Nets still looking for their first win. Indiana is 1-6. So we'll see that. Give you a quick movie review. I did go see the Bruce Springsteen movie. I think it was last weekend. Deliver Me From Nowhere. It was good. I thought it was well done. It has not done well at the box office as well at all. And I'm going to tell you this. I'm a big Bruce Springsteen fan. I think his career is unbelievable. But they made a movie about him making the album Nebraska. Now, I love Springsteen. I love Springsteen live. I go there, I sit enthralled for the 3 hours plus that he puts on the concert. But when he plays his Nebraska songs, I get up, and that's when I go to the concession stand or go to the bathroom. And I call that his castor oil set, because it doesn't taste good, but he thinks it's good for you. And he thinks the Nebraska stuff is good for you. I don't like the Nebraska stuff. I like his rockin' stuff. So they decided to make a movie about one of the all-time great performers making his worst album, in my opinion. And I think that's what's setting it back. Nebraska is a depressing album about a murderer, pretty much, a mass murderer, a serial killer. And they made a movie about him making that album. So it's well done. Jeremy Allen White was great. Jeremy Strong was unbelievable as, Bruce Springsteen's manager. But it's not a quick-moving movie. I'll give you that. Not a bad movie. I think it's really, really well done. But quick-moving, no, not at all. Tony in Bayonne. Tony.
Hey, Michael K. I got a little bone to pick with you talking about my Jets. And also, you made me sit through Lupica, too. So, hey. But I just don't understand the alternative to the Jets. What do you want? To keep them and have them die on the vine? I don't understand. Well, present your alternative.
Well, I don't think, as I said, Tony, the deals weren't bad, but now you're putting the picks in the hands of people that I'm not sure they can do it. Are you sure they can do it?
I'm not positive, but it's better than, having those guys under contract rotting away. It doesn't make any sense. So that now there's
all right. Then why did they trade Garrett Wilson?
Picks.
Why didn't they trade Garrett Wilson then?
Because we're going to draft a new quarterback, and you want to have some protection for him, right? Don't you?
Well, but okay. But Sauce Gardner's 25 years old. You just signed him. You just signed him to a $30 million a year contract. So in 8 games, you decided, you know what? I guess we were wrong. Tony, the deals were great.
Fine. That's life, isn't it? Now we got
It
2
is life,
runs out of
but they made a mistake on the quarterback, and then I guess they made a mistake on the cornerback by giving him. Now it was a shrewdly structured contract that was easily tradable. I give them credit for that. So there's not a big cap hit. But you can't feel great about it. They traded 2 of their best players. So now they're starting down to 0. So you want positivity out of me? What have the Jets done to give you positivity? Has Aaron Glenn shown you anything that he's going to be great? Now, I don't know if he's going to be good or bad, but has he shown you anything that he's going to be the answer? That they finally got the coaching right? No. They've looked terrible on the field. The guy that they chose for quarterback, and they didn't give him a truckload of money. I never said that they did, but that's the quarterback they chose, and he's been terrible. He had 2 games where he's okay. He sat out 1 game with a concussion. The other games, he's been dreadful. Tell me where I'm supposed to be optimistic. I'd like to know. Because you know me, I'm a glass half full guy, not a glass half empty guy. The Jets' glass is empty. 15 years in a row without the playoffs. They're not going to make it next year either. And if they mess up these draft picks, it's going to be 20 years before you know it. 20 years, and they're going to have to start all over again. These guys got to get it right. And if you can tell me why I should feel confident, I'll listen. You should listen tomorrow at 1. We have a big show. Darren Orlovsky, Chris Sims, and Alex A-Rod Rodriguez. All coming up tomorrow, starting at 1 o'clock. Coming up now, Don Hahn and Rosenberg. In the words of Billy Joel, life is a series of hellos and goodbyes. I'm afraid it's time for goodbye again. See everybody. Talk to you tomorrow at 1.
Is college even worth it these days? At Empire State University,